Is Janet from another planet? 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 Is Janet from another planet?
TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bruce Lombardo, and with me today is the lovely Janet from Another Planet.
Hello.
We are going to be discussing the movie Greenland today, directed by Roman Vic. Wow, I believe his name. Anyway, it's got Gerard Butler and
Rick
Marina
Roman
Baccarin.
Raw.
Wah, yeah.
Wah.
For those of you that play Warhammer Fantasy, the orcs are with us today. Aside from that, Janet, when did you first discover this film?
I think I saw it at the movie theater. From what I remember, what it came out in 2020 or something.
I think it was 2019 or 2020. One of those two.
It was like it was supposed to come out right during it was like right around the pandemic starting.
It was filmed.
There was a lot of chaos going on, and I was bored to death.
Between June and August of 19, it was filmed, and they were shopping it around, and then the Wu flu happened.
Yeah. So.
You know what happened with that, right?
Yeah, they couldn't let people go to the movie theaters. They don't want people to go to the movie theaters and stuff.
Not allowed to have fun with the Wu flu.
I was lucky because I was able to go to the movie theater. They made a lot of people wear masks and stuff. And but I put it on, went in, got my ticket, went to my seat, took it off. So it was no big deal. But the movie was freaking awesome. I loved it.
You go to the theaters or you go to the restaurant and they're like, you have to wear your mask while you're walking. And then as soon as you get hip level, you drop down, you sit, and that's when it's safe for you to take your mask off and drink lots of beer, have peanuts, enjoy food, spit on your neighbors. It was so good. But then the moment you got up, you had to have the mask back on. But cover your face. You're going to get
ridiculous. And you know what? I used to carry an empty mask box in my purse, flattened. And when people would say stuff about the mask, I said, why? Why do you want me to wear a mask? They said, because it's going to help stop the virus. I go, here, read this. And they go, well, and I said, yeah, it's not a mandate. It's not mandated, only from the businesses, because not all businesses made you wear a mask. A lot of them, I went in, you just had to use that hand sanitizer, and that was it. And then other ones I went in, they took your temperature and you used the hand sanitizer, but they didn't make you wear a mask. So all of them were different. And the ones that made you wear a mask the whole time while you're in there, I just stopped going to any of those. Because once it went past a couple of weeks, I thought it was ridiculous. So I just stopped doing it. I stopped shopping there.
I started shopping anywhere that didn't make me wear a mask. Once HEB forced us to wear a mask in all HEB stores, I started I'll shop anywhere. I don't got to wear a mask. and I found places, and then like they were getting reported on social media. Don't go here. There's a lot of maskless that are there. You know, and it's kind of funny, but like if you're that fucking upset about the rest of us having the ability to raw dog the air, you know, please just stay home in your fucking shitty enclave. Don't bother the rest of us.
But it was like, I'd say the theater was about half full, you know, where I was sitting. So there was a lot of people that just said F you to the masks and stuff, and still went to the movies and still went to restaurants and stuff. A lot of them, especially in the South, they weren't near as, I guess, anal as some of the people in the cities about, you know, everybody thinking you're going to die if you didn't wear your mask or whatever. I was just happy the first time I walked up to a business and I saw they had those big sanitizer things out front and they were wiping their hands off, and I saw people wiping off the carts. I went, wow, this is great, you know, because I have allergies. Many times I've grabbed a cart and I'd be walking along and all of a sudden my hands would start to itch, and I'm like, they probably had lotion that had sulfur in it or something like that I'm allergic to. So then I'd have to get my own stuff out, wash my hands, and then wipe the cart off myself. So, you know, in a way, I thought it was a good thing, the hand sanitizer part. But the mask wearing was just dumb, because if it can get in your nose and your mouth, it can get in your eyes. And plus, a mask doesn't stop virus size microbes, you know, and stuff. So I just thought it was stupid. I just didn't give them my money. I went other places. And
that's the wonderful thing. Like, we stopped giving them our money. We stopped giving a shit about what they thought. You're not going to.
And it worked. There was lots of towns between Arkansas and New Orleans that didn't even ever wear masks. So there's tons and tons of rural towns like that where nobody wore masks at all. And nobody got sick. So I never got COVID, not one time, and I didn't get the shot. So I got tested once, and I made them take my blood because I was not letting them shove that stick up my nose. And I was
not happy. I was not happy at all because I did get COVID.
Well, I'm glad I'm not on YouTube right now because they don't like you talking about this stuff. So I hope you don't get in trouble for medical misinformation. But all I can talk about is what happened to me. You know, I never got COVID. You know, that's a fact. So I hope I don't get you too much trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, when did you see it? Didn't see it until I recommended it, did you?
Correct.
So what did you think about it?
This movie rocked. This movie was absolutely a banger of a film.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting it. Gerard Butler is probably the action hero that I would watch his movies, regardless of what movie it is. I'm going to probably do my best to follow his films because he does a very good job of making a good movie, an enjoyable film.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sad because a lot of people don't really equate him with quality work.
Well, it's almost like, because I haven't seen all his work. I've seen 300, and I remember seeing one other movie, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
That's
something about him escaping from jail or something. There was one, he escaped from jail, and it had trying to remember the actor that was after him. Jamie Foxx or something was after him. Wasn't that him?
I'm not well versed on all of his films.
Well, that's the other movie I've seen. So this was like, I just didn't watch a lot of his movies. Maybe it was because I just wasn't interested in whatever the movie was. 300 was freaking awesome. And I like the other actors that were in 300. And it was more like a play almost, 300, the way that they filmed it and everything. So I just loved it. I thought it was really good. I love different types of filming, I don't want to see just the same old thing over and over again. It just gets boring. But there's
a lot of the same old thing with Gerald Butler. I made the critique yesterday with Jason Statham that Jason Statham is like a low rent version of The Rock, where you get a Jason Statham movie where he plays Jason Statham over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like he's The Rock. If The Rock and Jason Statham would just do action movies and their characters were Jason and Dwayne, nobody would give a shit. Like, we know you can't act, but fucking go run here, stand on a spot, point the gun, fire the blanks. We'll do this on camera. It'll be great. And then we'll add some fucking shitty shaky cam because you can't fight where the fuck. We watched your fucking WWE shit, Dwayne, and we watched your fucking really bad movies, Jason. So go ahead, shaky cam for all the fights. Doc Flamingo, first in the chat. Hello, Mr. Doc. How you doing today? It is a busy day on the social media. Appreciate you being here, sir. I can't stand Jason Statham films. He's a good actor, but
I like him.
I don't like his films. Like, I've seen him act years ago in like Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Mm-hmm.
But that guy, he's gone. I don't know what happened to him.
Well, I don't see that much difference in a lot of the things that he's done. I just like his style of acting. I just like him. But I also like Gerard Butler in this movie because a lot of people said he can only act in action movies. And I was like, but this movie wasn't an action movie at all. And I thought he was very believable for his character as a father and a husband.
I thought this
trying to get to his
was the
kid.
best movie he's acting in I've seen so far.
Yeah, I thought he was phenomenal. I thought the three main leads, which was the little boy, Roger, I think his name's Roger Floyd, played Nathan. Oh my God, he was phenomenal. He was only 8 when he filmed this movie, and I bawled my eyes out when those people took him and threw his mother out of the vehicle and kidnapped him basically to use to get to Greenland. That whole scene, to me, I was just bawling, and the kid was shaking, and he was just adorable. Oh, I just wanted to give him a big old hug. He was so cute. But when he said, "They're not my parents," and he was very believable. I mean, he was really good. I just loved him. I was great. So, the people that played in every part of this movie, the bad guys that kidnapped the kid, everybody did a great job. Even the nurse in the tent that had given her son the insulin, the way that she hugged her and talked to her about, I took care of him and did this. And even though we knew, all of us watching the movie knew that all these people were going to die tomorrow. Every one of these people that weren't able to get on a plane and fly to Greenland or one of these other underground bunkers were all going to be dead. Like when she's arguing the fact that she needs to meet her husband and get on the plane because they have the wristbands. And she said, well, I can't do anything about it. And she's like, well, you need to help me get on the plane, even though my son can't go because he has diabetes. And she said, what would you do if it was your family? And she said, my family wasn't chosen. And that put her down a notch. Basically.
Yeah, I love that.
I thought it was very realistic, and the way she reacted to it, it was like two people realizing this is the end of the world.
It might not be the end of the world, but it's going to be a very nasty situation.
Well, it was for the end of the world, basically. When if you didn't get the underground shelters, it was over. The people left out in the elements were going to be either burned to death, killed by falling debris, killed by falling debris from the comet or whatever it was, a meteor that had broke up, different things like that. They didn't know. Your chances were really low that you were going to survive it, especially people that were packed in the cities. And that's why I wanted us to watch this so bad, because of so much shit that we've been going through for the last 4 years. I think that's one reason why it hurt the movie, is because any person, because when I did see this, that's all I could think of. It wasn't that I thought the world was going to end. It was the way that people were treating each other in the city streets, shoving people out of the way to get to the head of the line. They see your bracelet and they're trying to kill you to get it, so that they can fly to Greenland and get in the underground bunker and have a chance to maybe live. And they're willing to kill you, do whatever it took to get that. The birthday party at the very beginning, when she's having a birthday party for her son and everybody's coming, and that's when her husband gets an alert on his phone. It's like and it sounded legitimate. And I looked that up, and it said that it was all went through the Department of Defense about how they would handle that. The part where they sent out the signal to the phones and stuff, that was a legitimate way that they would contact people in that type of a cataclysmic event. You know what I mean? And that's if you had cell service. And that's another thing I tell people. What happens when we have no power? When the grid goes down, you can't call someone on the phone. What are you going to do? What is your way of getting out of the city? Like when you saw him and his wife and their kid get in the vehicle and they're trying to get out of the city, and he looks over the overpass down to the road and there's nobody's moving. It's just a sea of lights. You're trapped. You are stuck, and you're in a car. All your belongings are in a car. What are you going to do? Leave your car, take your stuff, and start dragging it down the street? You got to have a way out. You have some type of plan to get out of a disaster like that. And that to me was very believable. Every single thing they did leading up to all of that to me was realistic.
Our friends that live in mountainous areas like Nampa and other parts of Idaho, our close friends that are mountain home people, like, I don't know what your situation is, how much cover does the landscape around you give, but
yeah,
I think those guys would have a lot better chance of survival.
Well, there's tons of caves.
Yeah.
Like there's tons of caves in Arkansas. I mean, there's big caves. I know a lot of people could go and survive in there. The problem would be you don't know how good your air quality is going to be, that type of thing. Like that one movie, what was it? The one about the comet and they're partying, they go to the mall and stuff, the young teenage movies, young movie one. Yeah, Night of the Comet. And then they realized that they left the fans on, so everybody was contaminated inside the fortress that they were supposed to save people's lives. And little things like that. So it all boils down to how prepared you are and if everybody follows through. Just like when I was for Katrina, what happened with Katrina? You had people abandon their posts for the levees, to turn on the levees, make sure the water was going out the way it was. They left. So the levees overflowed and flooded parts of the city, and people died because of it. So, if everyone doesn't follow through, it's over. Do what?
We had that situation in North Carolina where there's reports where people went to the dams and opened the gates so everything would just flood and thousands of people lose their homes, their lives. Everybody's impacted for the worst, and FEMA just doesn't give a shit about it because it's a red area. They have Trump signs everywhere. Fuck them.
Yeah, and a lot of people did say stuff like that. Like when FEMA was going around doing the disaster relief, and they found out the email that went out to everyone: don't go to houses if they have Trump memorabilia in their yard.
Like they have a pit bull on property and it wants to eat you.
Yeah, any of that stuff. And it's sad that there are people like that, and those people shouldn't be in those types of jobs.
No,
if you want to be that type of person and you own your own business and you don't want assholes to come in because you think they're assholes, then you should be able to not have assholes come in your business. YouTube can take your channel away because they don't like you or like your point of view. They have the right to do that because they own it. You have the right to pay them to use their service or not. So if you don't like the way you're treated, leave, go somewhere else. That's just the way it is.
And I imagine Janet's going to not be using YouTube much longer because YouTube treats her like she's in an abusive spousal relationship.
Yeah, it's like every couple months I get taken down because they don't like what I have to say.
In and around a little bit, How you feel there? You still love your governor. You still think that's better than Barack Hussein Obama and his lovely wife Michelle, who gave birth to 2 lovely children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, our friend Doc Flamingo is in the chat, and he says, writing on something I said 10 minutes ago, which we takes a while for us to get out everything. Jason Statham is an actor that's good if directed properly. Guy Ritchie knew how to use him back when Guy Ritchie knew how to make movies himself. Mm-hmm. And that really, I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't think I've seen the newest Guy Ritchie film. No, I haven't. Shit.
You haven't seen a Guy Ritchie film?
Not a new one. Not anything in the last 3 years, and he's put out a couple.
You know what? I really like his movies so far. The thought that he liked Madonna, that that was kind of hard for me to understand. But
Uh,
besides that,
I think what it was that she's the most popular singer in the world, and she's all mine. And I think that's what kind of got him all happy and hard about that. After she starts like doing the funny Botox, and she looks like every other Hollywood starlet, where they've got
yeah.
the fucked up plastic surgery face. I think that was where he was like, I'm done. Check, please.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they had a lot in common when they had conversation or
Back
whatever.
when they had conversations, it was great, but there was a period of time back in 2003, he was directing her in BMW 5 Series commercials, and they were riffing off of the Transporter movies, and she hadn't buckled her seatbelt, so she's tumbling around 3 seats of the car while the driver's just ripping through the gears, downshift, upshift, downshift, downshift, just going
I
through
never
these
saw
rules.
those commercials.
It was one of the best fucking BMW commercials I've ever seen. Better than the Transporter Part 1 movie,
Mhm.
which that's really a good Beamer commercial, if I might say so myself. That really is the film that made me want to learn how to drive a stick shift. And that was it. You know, you watch that and you're like, I could be as cool as that guy.
Yeah.
And then Jason Statham did another movie called, it's a remake. Oh, what's the remake of? Not Car Wars. He plays a welder or factory worker that gets thrown in prison, and they throw powder on him to clean him up, and then they hose him down. But you realize he's got like the world's worst diet because he's just absolutely like 40, 45 years old, and he's ripped to shreds. He has this amazing 8-pack.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, he's really buff. If I look at this too long, I turn gay. But like the woman next to you, she's turned into a hot, wet mess.
Yeah.
And she's like wanting that. And then in the special features, it was a Roger Corman film that they redid. The actor, the black actor that was in there with him, says, you know, Jason Statham just all done fucked up, because now that he can look like that, every director from here on out will not let him get on camera until he's in that shape again. And that actually kind of was true for like the next 5 years. He had to go back on his cauliflower and tomato diet. I want to repeat that. He had to eat cauliflower and tomato diet, not potatoes, not steak, cauliflower and tomato diet. He had to do that. And it was the most horrible thing he said, because he's like, really, all I just want to do, I want to go home and eat pie. I want to go home and just eat good pie. That's it. This is terrible.
I heard somebody say that yesterday. I thought,
what?
I just want to go home and eat pie. Was that Six
Yeah,
Nations?
it wasn't me. I don't eat pie.
Yeah, it was Six Nations. And then he said something about the pie was because the cake was so dry or something like that. Remember?
Yeah.
So it's interesting conversation. But the thing is that this movie to me was appealing because of the story around it. Because everybody kept saying everyone does movies about the end of the world, blah, blah, blah. But really, not really. I mean, you have like, what was that one? Signs with Mel Gibson. Okay. Yep. That one kind of could have been the end of the world. I mean, then you have the one with the alien creatures that are here, and if you make a noise, they kill you. You know, so there's quite a few. But I remember reading about this when it first came out. That the book came out years before Armageddon and a whole bunch of other stories came out. So it was made from a book, and I'm trying to find my note on that. Darn it! Hold on, give me a second. I can't find it now. I thought I had to highlight that. That's me. That's the way it is when you try to have things separated. I don't know. I can't find it now, but I remember reading that. But the thing is that I was attracted to it because of the story behind it. There was a movie with Tina Leone that was about the end of the world too. Yeah, Deep Impact. Now that was really, really good. I absolutely loved her in that movie. It's one of my favorite movies that she's in. And I bawled my eyes out when she's at the end and she wanted to go. All she wanted to do was be with her daddy. And she hugs him with the waves, takes him. They're together. They died together. So the ending or the part of the movie in this part of the movie where all three of them snuggle together, in the bunker.
Yeah,
and the sun
was heartfelt.
Yeah, I was in tears, basically, could not, for fear of them and sadness, even though the little boy went through so much stuff to get there with his mom and dad. And he tells them, it doesn't matter, we're together. So no matter what happens, we're together. That's all that matters. I just love that. It just, oh. And that one line where the little boy said it in the car when they left, because remember, he was crying when his next door neighbor came out after his birthday party, and the dad's phone went off, and it was the presidential alert telling them that him and his wife and child have been chosen to go to the bunker. And the neighbors that were there celebrating their son's birthday party, right? And the little boy doesn't understand, what's going on. He doesn't have a clue. He's 8 years old, and he's really an 8-year-old boy. I think he was 7 in the movie, but he was 8 years old when he made this movie. And oh my God, he was just the cutest thing. But they did a believable job at playing neighbors that they, talk to a lot and have barbecues with. Their kids play together. All of them were very believable characters. And when they see the alert going on the TV and the little thing ticker going by, and then his phone rings and he answers it. And then all of a sudden on the TV, it's one of those smart TVs that tells you that you're getting a text message or whatever else. And it starts reading out that you have been chosen. And they're all looking at him like, what? How come you got it and we didn't? They don't understand. Yeah. They pick you by your jobs, Okay, if it's the end of the world,
how can you further society?
Yeah, the government has it set up, and I'm sure the president and all them, you didn't see them in the bunker. Okay, you don't know who was in the bunker. All you saw were the regular people, right? The thing is that we know the government has something set up because there has to be a government. There has to be somebody in charge to make sure things happen. The right people are there. You need people to grow the food again, more people to be farmers, people to rebuild the buildings, find water, get everything set up, because I'm sure electricity and all that stuff's not at the top of the deal. But they have some form of electricity because the place they were in had those giant doors and everything was working. So they had some way of generating power, but only for the bunker, right, that they were in. And then you hear the radios going off from the other countries, Australia and then Seoul, Korea, and all the different other places saying, hello, we're the smoke is going away and blah, 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 the fires are out. That they're going to open the passageways or whatever and start trying to rebuild. And then you get that little glimmer of hope at the very, very end when you see the birds flying around. So that shows that the animals are starting to, the ones that survive are finding a way to survive out there, so that the air is definitely, you knew the air was good or they wouldn't open the bunker door, I hope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And one of them said the radiation levels are very low. So, I guess the comet didn't have a lot of radiation or whatever to destroy, was just mostly from fire and debris and stuff like that, and wind damage from the shock. And that was really freaking scary when they were doing that. And then you saw them saying, watch, everybody's, what does everybody do? Like when O.J. Simpson was on the run, everyone was glued to the TV, right? Watching O.J. running from the law, everyone was talking about it, so it was a huge news. So to see all these people sitting around watching TV, watching the impact of the supposed pieces, right, that weren't going to do anything really, just kind of hit here and there and cause a little bit of damage, but they were going to mostly go into the ocean, right? But then you see the impact, and then all of a sudden you hear it. It's like a rumble from real far away, and then all of a sudden it took a little while, but the shock wave, the way they did it, the CGI or whatever it was that they did, it looked very realistic to me. It was very scary, the whole thing. And then the dad ran outside, and that's when everybody gets blown over, the windows get blown out, and everything from the impact of the sonic boom, basically from the impact of that. It was just really, really, really believable. And the fact that he got chosen because he was a structural engineer was believable, because you need to rebuild if it's, the cities are all damaged and stuff. And the fact that how do they expect you to do a good job and do your job and take care of things and rebuild if they let your kids die and your wife and everything. So the fact that the wife and the husband were going to be kept together with their families, to me, was believable. Because a lot of people, when I watched this the first time, they said, that's stupid. They wouldn't take people just because they were married to them and stuff. They would just want the people that could do the work. And I said, what good is a bunch of workers that hate you because you took them away from your family and let them die? That they're going to say big fuck you, and they're not going to help you rebuild. They're going to say F you and go do stuff for themselves, basically. So that, to me, made lots of sense. And it was really heartbreaking, though, to see all these people in the military supporting this choice that the government had made to get all these people on the plane, knowing they weren't going to go. And people don't realize what our military really does right now. We know people that get in airplanes and fly to another country to go to war for us, not knowing if they're ever going to come back. So that's believable to me. Did you find any other way that they did the whole military thing? And then the people rushing in, running over everyone in a panic to get to the planes, and that chaos. Did you think that was realistic, or did you think it looked over the top?
I thought it looked very, very realistic. I thought the way they portrayed the military at the bases, at the road closures, I thought that was really well done, and I thought it was really nice that they didn't try to black eye the military every chance they got, where the military was just like, you can't do this, you can't go here. I'm so happy they made the military filled with mostly compassionate people, in light of the fact, tomorrow, by the way, it's your species Armageddon. Have fun. And they did a very good job of showing off their military bearing. And I still have a job to do. It doesn't matter if the world's ending. I have to, by the time the meteor hits, I still have to be in this uniform. So conceivably, if we are still alive on the 15th, I can make my paycheck. And I love that.
The one thing, though, I did like about the whole thing with the military and the way they portrayed the military in this movie specifically was the fact that these people have gone to boot camp. These people have gone through all kinds of training, right? And all they're thinking about is us going on, the human race being successful. So every little detail, every little thing, all the things that each of these people were doing, the security, the people checking the people, make sure they only had one bag, all the different things to make sure the planes could get off the ground, fueling the planes. You had all the different people running around trying to get the plane ready, getting people on, making them sit down, trying to keep everything as orderly as possible so that they could be successful, to make sure that we kept the human race survived this huge impact that was about to happen.
Catamount mission.
All
the military knew
to me,
that.
it was wonderful. It
that
did
was the
portray the
JSA
military.
Everyone signed off on in the military in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The job safety analysis, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about. Typically, whenever you're doing any sort of endeavor that's going to involve you having to wear a hard hat or a reflective vest or high vis vest or high vis clothing, or you're doing something that's just a little bit rough. The only thing that I didn't like about this movie is there wasn't enough high vis clothing, because the military would pass out high visibility vests. If you're going to be working at night, you're going to have that. That's the only thing I didn't see in this movie that was wrong. Other than that, this movie pretty much nailed it down with military. I was really surprised and very, very pleased as a former vet, as a former Navy guy, to see how they have evolved and how they portrayed the U.S. military. Granted, there was no ports, there was no ship, there was no seaman in this movie, but this movie portrayed the military in such a humane light. And you can tell they did a lot of work to try to make sure they were authentic. The one scene I just kind of was fucking the hot ash or the hot molten rock hits the helicopter and it starts going around on its way down before it crashes.
Yeah.
All I could think of was shit. Those guys, once that happened, they're like, well, this is it. That was as soon as you have the thought, well, this is it, you're crashed, you're gone. And
Six Nations is here.
Ooh.
Yay! I just saw his thing pop up. Welcome. How you doing? Well, we've been talking a little bit about
working, and it looks like so far so good.
Well, we've been okay, good, because we were just talking a little bit about the point of view that we had with the military, the way that they portrayed the military in a good light, basically, by them knowing they weren't going to make it, most of them, but how they did try to make sure that the people were orderly and that the right people were the ones getting on the planes to repopulate the planet after the destruction. And we were pleased with that. So what did you think about that part of the movie?
It was refreshing. It was like this movie was a lot better than like disaster movies, especially the really low budget ones, because this one wasn't like dark doom and gloom. I mean, towards the end there was a lot of because like realistically a 9-mile wide asteroid hitting the Earth, like look at the one that hit the Yucatan and wiped out the town.
Yep.
Humanity effed when it comes to like it wouldn't really play out that way, because it's like, look at how human nature is. We had the lockdowns, and then people went full tyrant. So get back on track with the movie. It was kind of nice to see being nice, like despite all the shit that's going on, like a percentage of people that would just come to grips with it and be like, okay, well, 75% of the planet is, so we gotta do what we can, hopefully, to correct the situation. So yeah, you'd have doing the right thing.
Like when the meteorite hits and like people come out of the vault, do you think that there's going to be that one person that's like, you guys aren't wearing your masks?
No, not for a little while. I think they would be very thankful, that they were chosen and they made it, and their family made it with them, most of them. But the scene, what did you think about the scene in the back of the pickup truck, Six Nations, when the gentleman sees that he has that wristband on, and they get in the fight for him trying to get that so he can go to Greenland and make the other guy suck it.
their version of you.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. What did you think about it? Was it believable to you?
Like the person sees the wristband and they're like, oh, you're one of the chosen ones. Like, I can get in. Well, realistically, there would be biometrics. They would have an extent. Like, there's a suit. And so, like, your little fucking nightclub, I got to go to the car to get that. I'm going to go have a smoke. Can I get my hand stamped type of thing? That would never happen. But that scene with the wristband, he's like, I'm going to jack you if you get on the airplane or whatever. It's somewhat believable. I like how one of let it go, dude. It's not worth it. And then they get a little scrum of it. Like it was believable, but not like 100% believable, because like in the back of my mind, I think of these things like the card game Conflicted scenarios. Like, what if here's a really shitty situation, and then you role play the like, okay, in this event, you got a ticket because the end of the world is happening, and that's the only way that you're going to survive is, like, what would you do in that? You're in the back of a truck. Someone notices that you got the golden ticket, and they want it.
Yeah.
You try like, if I was Gerard Butler, I would have taken that damn thing off and like in my pocket.
Well, the thing is,
that way nobody
remember
would see
the
it.
scene when he first gets in the truck. He's not thinking about the wristband. Okay. He's not thinking about how many people's in the back of the truck or any of that. All he's thinking about is the medicine he's got, and he's got to get to his wife and his son that's at her parents. Just like she didn't think about it when she got in the back of that truck or in the car with the husband and wife that were on their way to Knoxville. Okay. She wasn't thinking about a wristband.
They would have packed that shit, and we would have avoided half of that drama.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, it was, to me, it was very believable, the step-by-step process of how
Hollywood
things
in that
unfolded.
aspect, because like if a family member, a loved one, a spouse, friend, boyfriend, whatever, that is dependent on medication, like that should be automatic response, is grab the meds and keep it on the person.
Well, she
Pack the
thought she
snacks.
did. It was in a backpack. He was afraid, and he opened the backpack and took his blanket out. And when he did, the medicine fell out of the backpack into the floor. Remember, they were in a hurry to pack one bag. They were told they could only bring one bag, and she was just cramming stuff in the bag, and they wanted to make sure they had the medicine. To me, it was very plausible that happened. I have kids, okay, and I've had shit like that happen where you get there and you're like, oh, you don't have your ID, or you don't have the checkbook, or and you've got your whole cart full of groceries and you have to leave. Because before there was debit cards, I had to use a checkbook. And many times that's happened to me. And I had 3 screaming kids that wanted to buy something at the store, and I had to get them back in the car and leave and be embarrassed. So things do happen. And to me, it was very believable.
The moral of the story is
and
have your shit together in a disaster.
Yeah. Well, I hope nothing like that ever happens. But to me, it was to me, the whole thing, the way it rolled out, the person who wrote this script definitely thought about the little details. Like when he broke into that one house after he'd been through all that stuff, and he had killed that guy, right? He had dried blood on him and stuff after hitting him in the head with that hammer and killing him. Okay. He'd never killed anyone before. And I thought it was a very believable scene, and how he reacted to killing someone, as just a normal guy that had a wife and a kid the day before at his son's birthday party. His whole life was different. He pushed into killing another person. And then he breaks into that house. He goes in, and the first thing he does is go to the sink, and he gets a glass of water because he hadn't had any water or anything with all the shit that was going down. Then he's walking through the house, and he starts seeing pictures of the people that live there. And he sees that picture of that baby, and he's just thinking about his own family. And then that's when he sees his hands, and he runs to the sink and starts scrubbing his hands. Because it's like a taste of reality jolt, like hit him. Because he went from being like in shock to where, oh my God, I've got to get to my family. It woke him back up, made him realize the shit they were in. And then he steals the keys. He finds the keys to the car in the front driveway, and he writes a note, puts it on the refrigerator, basically, I'm sorry I had to take the car. Not realizing that there's not going to be anybody in a few days. There's not going to be anybody left if he doesn't make it. So I don't know. I thought Gerard Butler did a kick-ass job. Him and his son and the actress that played his wife, all 3 of them just played off each other's emotions for the parts in this movie to make it very, very believable to me that they were really in love. They had problems, but they had to work together to get where they needed to go and to save their kid. basically. I just thought it was phenomenal. I thought the acting was great. I thought the director's point of view was perfection. That's how I looked at it for this type of a movie.
Like I look at disaster movies.
Mm-hmm.
Which one came to your mind?
Swarm or earthquakes or fire. Like, you watch that for the spectacle of the miniatures being destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the highlight of the film. Mm-hmm. Then we're getting into the more and societal issues, like whip up and do things out of in order to save your loved ones,
mm-hmm.
or risk and bring these people into the fold to help them out and be the good Samaritan. You got this interesting dynamic now for cinema, and this movie, it was done. There was a little bit of issues, like when you look at France being and Greenland from Western Europe, and it got iced big time, like flatlined. They should have changed some of the movie to like New Zealand or something.
Well, to me, most people don't think of that little details like that, like somebody that might be that they do for a living. They make maps or whatever type of thing. So to me, that's just a very minute detail.
That's just me being.
That doesn't really take away from the story or the script or the character arcs. But the part where she gets in the car because they're walking down the road and they're trying to get to her dad's place, right? Because she left a message for her husband that's where they're going to be. She put one on the phone, but the phones didn't work. She wrote a note and left it in the car that they were going to go try to get him some medicine and get to her dad's any way possible, right? Because they couldn't drive. It was jam-packed. The streets were closed off because nobody was driving because there was too many vehicles. So the fact that she gets in the back seat with a husband and a wife of a car just to go a little ways and be dropped off, to me was plausible. You got a small boy that's a diabetic, and you can't carry him the whole way. And so to me, that was very believable. So when she gets in there and he's sitting in the seat strapped in, and then that lady asked him if he'd like something to eat, and she said, yeah, it might be good for him to have something. And she sees his wristband, okay, and that's when she says, oh, you got one of those wristbands, how come you didn't go with them? Then you see the husband looking in the rearview mirror, and you're like, oh shit, immediately. And the fact that the wife didn't say, can we pull over so I can go to the bathroom after that, to get out, knowing that now they know that they have the wristband. Because when she brought that up, that's the first thing I would have thought of was, oh no, they're going to try to kill us because there's two of us. We got two wristbands.
Either that or grab your wireless printer and get ready to type.
Well, whatever. To me, that popped in my head. I went, oh shit. When I saw him look back in the rearview mirror, I was, I had a huge lump in my throat thinking about it. And it was really scary to me to be a mom and all you want to do is protect your kid. And the scene where the guy got out of the car and walked around the van, and he's trying to open the door and he's yelling at his wife to open the thing, and the actress is screaming, no, don't do this. And she's fighting, and you see her kicking her legs and everything, try to hold herself in the car. It was so dramatic to me. It was so traumatic. I was in near tears because I felt like it was real. I mean, it looked real. She did a kick-ass job, and the little boy screaming and crying for his mom and everything. It was just, the whole scene was so believable to me. I was a nervous wreck after that scene. I was like, oh my God, I want to kill something. It was so intense. And most of the whole movie is mostly dialogue pushed. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of bombs going off. You see one off in the distance, but it's not right there in front of them where they're having to react to that. It was mostly people reacting to each other, and you don't see that in a lot of these movies. Like John Wick, it's like pulling out guns and stabbing and shooting. A lot better
than some of these other ones, like Armageddon.
Yeah,
that was a great popcorn flick. Hated the soundtrack.
Thank you.
I'm glad that there wasn't any Steve Tyler in this one, but it was like over the top. and you're like, okay, this is over the top. I can deal with this. Let's just watch the action unfold. It wasn't great on dialogue. This, on the other hand, and it was great. Like
But it was purposeful.
Watch these moments and go, yeah, that's plausible. That's cool. That's not out disbelief. You still kind of get into the whole thing without it becoming a Michael Bay explosion fest.
Yeah, he was talking about that earlier. But the one part that just really tore me up was when the little boy, after he saw his little friend, next door neighbor that was just at his birthday party, his mother run out screaming for them to stop carrying her daughter, trying to get them to take her with them because all she wanted was her daughter to live. The mother was sacrificing herself.
Extremely realistic.
It was very real. But the little boy's reaction when he's screaming and he's shaking, and he just acted like he knew what's going on. What's happening? You know, he as an 8-year-old kid, it was so believable when they're driving along. And the little boy says to his mom and dad, I'm going to get emotional thinking about it right now, but he said, my friend Teddy said your life flashes in front of your eyes when you die. Just thinking about this when you have an 8-year-old saying this, just rips my heart out. I think it would be better if it did while you lived. That way you could see all the good memories and be happy. I just thought that was so touching. It just ripped my heart out because I wish people really did think about what you have right here in front of you every day and to be thankful for what you do have. And that's one of the reasons why I just love this movie, because to me, it's touching. It touches you emotionally when it comes to the way the mother treats her son, the son looks at his parents, and how the husband and wife are working on things for themselves, but all they want to do is survive and save their kid. But everybody in the movie is the same thing, but it's the fact that how they react to others and how others try to take advantage of them because of their the problems that they're having by getting disconnected, the mother being alone with her son, even though she was a badass. I mean, she was really trying to do the best thing. She was overpowered and thrown out of a vehicle, and they took her son, and she didn't know. I mean, she was basically ready to just die. I was waiting for her to walk out in traffic and just get hit by a car, because what did she have left? She lost everything. You know, she's camped under her husband. He's gone. She doesn't know if he's flying off to Greenland without her, not realizing that she had to stay back because her son had diabetes. And now they just took everything that mattered to her in her whole life was her child. That's it. She's got nothing to live for. And it was just heart-wrenching. And her portrayal of that, to me, it was so good. I thought she should probably get nominated for an Academy Award. It was so believable to me. Her part as a mother in this movie was one of the best mothers scenes I've ever seen in a movie. And I've seen a lot of movies with a lot of moms, but she kicked ass at portraying a mom in desperation, trying to find her son. And the scene where she finally finds him in that FEMA camp tent, I was bawling because it was just so believable, the way she looked at him, the way she reacted. And then the nurse's response that was in there, even though it was a teeny tiny part, it was so intricate in that scene. I don't know how anybody wasn't emotional watching that, even men, because every man that has a niece or nephew or a brother or sister or a loved one had to be emotional during all of that part with the mother losing her child, because of a guy that thinks, I can get rid of these two, and now I have 2 bracelets for my wife and I to go to Greenland. I don't give a shit about anybody but us. And that's sad, because that's human nature. We all want to save ourselves. And very few people, like the soldiers. That's why I was talking about the soldiers earlier. The fact that these soldiers were trained in boot camp to do a specific job. And now they have the chance to do it and to try to save our planet and repopulate the earth. So I don't know. I'm sorry I got so emotional, but I can't help it. It was such good acting. The kid playing off the woman playing his mother and the two bad people in the car, man. And if you, I don't know if you've ever done it, but I've done it. I've done scenes inside a vehicle like that, and it is very hard to film the different angles you need and have to retake at different angles. It's really hard because you have to take everything down and move it around the other thing and do it, just have a camera in the windshield, a camera to the side window, and one in the back or wherever, depending on the direction that the director wants to show you. And that is a really hard scene. The fact that they did this movie in 2 months is shocking to me still. There's so much detail in it. Hundreds and hundreds of extras that they used over and over, and they did a great job at using. They had to have used them over and over because it's too expensive to have that many more people come on set. So you try to change their clothes, change their hairstyles or whatever, and put them in different situations. So you don't. That's why you don't usually see the extra for more than a few seconds, because you don't want to see their face, because now we need that extra over there, we need that extra in that scene, we need, so it looks like many people, but it's only maybe 100 for the whole movie, but it's still a lot of people that you have to pay. But they all did a phenomenal job at portraying the characters that they were, which were all people that were desperation to live, to get somewhere where they can survive and be with their families. I just thought it was very well done. That's kudos to the director. They kicked ass to me, I think.
Yeah,
Continuity wise and everything.
I can't really complain with that. It was very well done.
Mhm.
This movie is one of the better disaster films. I was just looking at 1979's Meteor with Natalie Wood and Sean Connery,
Mhm.
and that the statement where Six Nations says, "You watch these movies just so you can see them destroy thousands of dollars of miniatures," and looking at my desk, going, "Yeah."
Mhm.
And that's what they did with Meteor. They did a really good job with the effects at the time. But that movie's cheesy as shit. It's a terrible movie, but it's so good to watch. If you're there to watch like miniatures get destroyed, you're gonna have fun.
Mhm.
But this movie here is just drama. It is a heart-wrenching tale from start to finish.
Mhm.
And I was very impressed with how rough this movie got. I wasn't expecting the twists, the turns, the guy in the van or in the car with his wife trying to kidnap the little boy. I didn't expect that.
And
It's
plus,
somewhat of an underrated because it came out and was like in the middle of the pandemic.
It was, yeah, I have it in 2019. It was supposed to be 19, but it actually officially came out in 2020.
yeah, because of the COVID
Yeah.
pandemic.
China, you faggot.
They got a sequel in the future.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's 2025 or what, but
Next year.
I'm kind of curious as how that's going to play out. That would be
Well, the thing is, the one thing I wanted to mention real quick is the fact that there was so much going on. Snap, 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 between him and her, and they weren't even in the same scenes. Okay. These were two people trying to get to the same place. Okay. One, the whole time without her husband, no support, trying to find, in desperation, to find her son that was kidnapped from her. Right. And she's in desperation, and he's just trying to find both of them. He doesn't have a clue whether they're alive or what's going on because he can't get a hold of them. And the scene where she's getting on a bus, so now you like have a sigh of relief. Oh, because you know that that girl in the military at the FEMA camp tent helped them get on a bus, the military bus, to take them to Knoxville with other people, because they're trying to get the people where they want to go, because they know they're going to die. And we have our government at least helping people get to their family and their loved ones. Just like I said in that other movie, A Deep Impact, when Tina Leone gets to hug her dad on the beach before they die from the tsunami, right?
Mhm.
Little things like that are touching to people that have real feelings and love someone. And all you want to do is hold their hand when they're dying. Like if you can hold your mother's hand when she's dying on her deathbed, something like that, or be in the same room with your dad while he's dying. That's all we have left, because you can't take it with you. Okay. All you have is what's in here that goes with you. That's what I believe. because none of this goes. It's just what your life experiences. And that's why this kind of stuff to me is so impactful, because it was so raw and real. Even the scene when the son-in-law gets there before his wife and kid, okay, he still doesn't, they're not there. And then the dad's there, and he's kind of pissed because he knows the guy's a slime bag. He was sleeping around on his wife, and they're separated, and now they're going to get divorced. So you find out a little bit more about what happened with the husband and wife before all this stuff happened on their son's birthday. But the thing is that he says in the barn to his son-in-law, I understand people's lives get fucked up or shit happens, but you don't go around and sleep with someone else just because shit's hitting the fan. Basically he was being a father for his daughter and his grandson. And he was telling his son-in-law that what he did was wrong and he didn't approve of it. And he goes, yeah, I know you're moving back in. You moved him back in again. But this time, he's basically telling the son-in-law, I'm going to pop you out if you hurt my daughter again.
You hurt
That's
my daughter
basically what he was doing. And that's what daddies do for their kids. So that was even though it was a smaller scene, it was very impactful when it came to emotions and family values and all that type of stuff. There were so many good scenes like that one packed in this movie. It was filled with it was a roller coaster of emotions. You had anger, you had sleaze bags, you had romance, you had action, you had horror, basically. You had every genre that you could think of packed into this one movie. I thought it was wonderful.
The scene that really got me was when they went to the pharmacy and they're just trying to get the stuff for the little boy.
Mm-hmm.
And initially things are just a little bit of light looting. We have the Atlanta, Georgia flag first to riot. And you have all of these people that are there, and then here come the thugs with guns. And I thought she was waxed. I really thought that she was going to get waxed there because the kid that had the rifle, he looked like he'd never shot that before. He'd never done on-stage work. I thought for certain, like, this is it. The movie ends prematurely. And I was kind of impressed it didn't. My bad. I was very, very impressed with the script writing and what they did and how the kid with the rifle looked at her. He's like, go. Okay, you've proved your point. I don't want to shoot you. I'm 16. Get out of here. I thought that was fairly, he doesn't say all that, but to me it kind of, he did say that. Because he didn't try to wax her right there. He wasn't a thug. He was just there with his friends, and they were there.
That's what I was talking about right there. That scene that you're talking about, it gave you a test or a taste of reality. Because just because somebody's looting a store doesn't mean they're a skank. He's in there trying to get medicine for himself or his family or whatever. Because he doesn't know for sure what tomorrow's going to bring, but he sees a mother's desperate to save her child, and he had sympathy for her because he's still a human being. He was a decent guy. He wasn't a mafia dude. He wasn't some hardcore guy right out of prison. You know what I mean? He was just a normal guy trying in desperation to get medicine or whatever else himself. So I just thought it was very believable. And the other woman, that's how she met the other woman that was in there trying to get medicine and stuff too. So I just thought it was really good. I thought every single scene was believable. The parking lot, I mean, just walking up to the store looked real. The way that it was, the setting of it, the sky, you see the remnants out in the distance and the glow because of the pieces, little pieces, thousands of them all around the world. As the world is turning, right, we're getting impacted. So different parts of the world are being impacted because the comet's not flying around the planet and hitting it. It's in one projection and the planet is turning and getting hit as it spins. A lot of people don't understand that. The concept of how the comet is hitting the planet, all this different stuff. I just thought it was just wonderful. I mean, to me, it covered all the bases for the different parts to make it believable to me of two people in desperate need to find each other, but also to make it out, survive the shit that was hitting the fan for everyone, because it showed you the chaos of all the people, not just to focus on the one little group of people. It was everyone. It showed you stuff on the news that was happening around the world, devastation from one impact in Tokyo or one impact in this other place. And they were showing you all these different things. So it was utter chaos, but it wasn't just located in this one area in the United States where they were trying to get to Canada now because of the information he found out from that another nice person that was in the back of the truck just trying to get somewhere where he could go and be with his family, his mother he hadn't seen in 7 years. So you get little bits like that of the humanity that we still have, why humanity's worth trying to save. You know, there's still something good in the world, and it was worth saving. And that is another thing that I love, the hopium, like what Six Nations was talking about. That's what that was.
I remember a movie that I saw, I want to say within the last 2 years. It came out a couple recent. I think it was an indie film. What is the name of it? Basically, the premise is the Earth gets pulled out of, and it's going to slowly cool, and everybody's going to die. It was kind of a depressing movie because it was this family living in this nice mansion, and then it kind of crashes on them that basically everybody's relatively slow because the Earth is slowly drifting away from the sun. So as it gets darker within the night, reality sets in. Like, no matter how much food and water we have, like, we're all going to end up an ice cube. It's just, and it was really well done. It was heavy on the drama, well written, and this movie here kind of echoes the same feelings of what would go through your mind in this situation of like impending doom. Like, how would you react to it?
Yeah, and I think we would all react like
have
what we do
movies
right
like
now
that.
in real life.
Because like,
you know, like let's say that you're in your office and your dog comes in and gnaws on the chair of your leg of your chair, right? And it's a new chair and you're mad because it's all gnawed up now. You know, how you would treat your dog, you know, disciplining your dog and being pissed off is how you would react to something else that would happen. But overall, even though your dog pissed you off and he chewed up the leg of your chair that cost you $200 or whatever, you're not going to kill your dog. Okay. You're not going to kick your dog. You're not going to throw it outside in the freezing cold and let it die. Even though it did something really bad, you're still human quality says, I love my dog. It's just a dog. It can't help it. It didn't know any better. Right. So that's how you would react in another situation because of who you are. And that's what I liked about this movie. It let all the different people show the different things that would come out of someone, just like what happened with Gerard Butler in the back of the truck. Here's a dad who just had a birthday party the day before with his son and his wife, found out that the end of the world might be coming and that he needs to get to this place. So a lot of shit has happened. But before that happened, you would never have seen him actually take a hammer and hit someone in the head and kill him. You know what I'm saying? Every single thing that happened up until that moment is changing who he is. But who he is and how come he was making different decisions on getting in there and being nice to that one guy that was talking to him and even being cordial with the guy that opened the back and let him in the truck, right? Everything leading up to that was because of his life, the things that he did in his life, what kind of person he was is why he was in the situation. So depending on who you are, when the situation happens is how you're pretty much probably going to react to it. Just like a normal guy who's never lifted a finger to hurt anyone, if he saw someone grab his wife or his kid, he's not going to just stand there and do nothing. He's going to turn into the Papa Bear and start attacking that person. That's just natural to protect the people you love or to protect yourself. Self-defense. That's why self-defense is a defense in court, because it's a fact that you as a human are going to defend yourself or someone you love. That's why a lot of people have a problem, like with when we did the movie G.I. Jane, right? Remember what happened? The guy said, it isn't you that's at fault to her. Why are you doing this? I'm good at what I do. And he says, it's not you, it's the men. The men naturally cannot help themselves, but put themselves in danger out on the battlefield trying to protect the woman that's standing next to him. Has nothing to do with whether she's trained or is more elite trainer than him. It's the fact that she's a woman and he's a man, and it's human nature for the man to try to protect the woman. See, you can't, no matter what situation you're in, you can't change nature. An animal is going to defend its kids, just like a woman is going to defend her kids, or a man's going to defend his family. That's just the way it is. And unless you're a skanky piece of shit that since you were a little kid killed puppies, hurt kids, or whatever, you're probably going to still be that skanky piece of shit when the shit hits the fan and take it out on everybody around you. I mean, that's just, to me, that is reality. And everything I saw in this movie showed me what I feel that character would have done in the movie, and to me it was believable. Sorry it took me so long.
I would have like a little bit longer, or perhaps like a mini series could actually
that would have been great.
Your toe into that, like get in a little bit more, knee deep into the water in that type of subject, because there's not enough of that.
They're making another
in
one
TV
right
shows.
now. It's going to come out next
So
year.
I'm hoping it kind of continues on that same trajectory that it went with.
It's about their trek through Greenland. It's about their trek through Greenland is what the sequel's about.
Oh, it is?
Like
It's about what happened
later,
when they come out of the underground thing?
Yeah, after their year in the vault,
Is it the same director and everything that you know of?
Director Marina Baccarin, the little boy Gerard Butler.
Okay, well, good. I hope it's good.
Wikipedia says.
I hope it's good.
And I was impressed because Wikipedia had the money of this film, and it said that this movie wasn't really released in theaters, but it still was produced on $35 million, and it came out with 65 overall.
Video on demand was pretty.
That's good. But I just thought the script was awesome. The script was really good, considering it's from a novel, right? And from what I read, it said that they did pretty good at accurate for the story, following the storyline. I thought the people that did the props, the scripts, the special effects, the makeup, everything that those people involved, I thought were phenomenal for this movie. I thought the continuity was spot on, because I hardly saw anything that didn't look like it was supposed to be like that. You know what I mean? Like when the bracelet got ripped off, it looked like the same bracelet over and over again. And that's continuity. Is like when their hair gets messed up and you go back, their hair's like this, and then you come back and their hair's like this. That's not continuity. That means they're not making sure that everything looks the way it was in the scene ahead of it, things like that. It's important for the story to flow and for the editing to look like they did a good job, is that everything flows from one scene to the next, because everything is where it's supposed to be and it's in its proper place. And I thought that they did a really good job on that. The effects of the asteroid pieces, or the comet, or whatever, it was an asteroid, pieces hitting like wherever it was supposed to impact areas, and then to see it on the TV, the flow of the of the impact, the way it looked,
Impressive
the
wave.
sound, the special effects that went with it, the sound effects that went with it, all that to me was, I just thought it was very, very believable. I was like on pins and needles the whole movie. You know what I mean? It was like a roller coaster. It was so good though. I was so enthralled. And this is like the fourth time I've seen it. And I'm still emotional about it because to me, it's so well done. And the actors that they chose, the person who chose the people to play, because like I was talking earlier, they had first looked at Chris Evans playing Gerard Bartlow's part. And the part for the father, they were looking at Sam Elliott.
That would have been good.
He
would have been
probably would
fine.
have done well too. But the guy that they got, I thought was great. I think everyone, all the actors played off each other so well.
Another Scott that was involved with this too.
I was trying to go through my notes real quick while we were doing it, but I can't help it. I'm such a talker. But I'm giving this a 9.5. That's my score, and that's really high. But this is a really, really good movie, and I recommend anyone that likes anything to do with disaster movies at all. If you like drama, romance, action, all those things, because it's all in this movie.
I
I'll shut up now.
I was scared for the boy whenever the David Denman and Hope Davis as Ralph and Judy Vento kidnapped little boy Nathan.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I thought that was like just the worst possible thing that could have happened throughout the film, and it was a miracle. It was a very good script that made it organic to where they all reunite after that situation. I wasn't expecting them to reunite. I was expecting them to get further towards Greenland and then reunite, but it was nice to see them be able to get together before they made it to her dad's house.
So did you get emotional though, Bruce, at the scene where that guy's holding the boy and he's saying, someone took my wristband, but this is my wife and my child, blah, blah, blah. It was
sack of shit. Yeah.
I know, but the way the kid acted when he said, these are not my parents. I mean, he just seemed, my heart just fell.
He was scared. He acted scared so well.
He was so good. He was adorable. I just wanted to give him a big old hug.
Best child actors I've ever seen.
Oh, he was great. He was really good in this movie. And because he was such a good actor in all the scenes that he did with the parents and his grandpa, like, I want pancakes. He was real. He seemed like he was really in this situation. I hope he didn't have, nightmares or whatever after this movie, because it was even though I know that you couldn't really see the stuff falling from the sky and, all that stuff, but still, he was just phenomenal. The kid was so good.
Okay. Who else thought of Flash Gordon whenever all the hot and molten rocks started falling out of the sky?
I didn't.
I
didn't
did.
think about it at all.
I thought about that hardcore because I'm like, that's what Ming wanted to do that.
Yeah. But I just loved it. I just love this movie. So what is your rate? What do you guys rate the movie?
Before we give our rating, can I ask that if you guys are interested in this movie, if you love this movie, if you want to talk about it, if you want to rip its heart out, you thought it sucked, put your critical review, whatever it may be, A+ or 5 out of 5 or 6 out of 10, 70%, whatever the fuck you think, put it in the chat right now. Have Janet read it. Six Nations.
Yeah,
You've seen this movie before, right?
I have seen most of it on Netflix, and the end of it, but then I had the driver issue with my mouse, so
make sure you watch it.
I got to finish it 95% of it, and I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Since they got a sequel coming out.
Yeah, everything's hunky dory. Everything ends.
I'm a little like, that they're always using the diabetic kid as the emotional films or what have you.
Have you seen the school lunches?
Like, what was it? That Jodie, the daughter, and they're in a safe room.
Safe Room, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, that's plausible. But like, oh, insert disaster. We got to go. And like, shit, we don't have the meds. Like, bad parenting. Get you out on your adventure. Get the meds. Save the kid. Yay. Feel good. This wasn't one of those movies, even though they used the diabetes. It was good. I liked it.
You know, if you're gonna
I'm gonna have
fight
to listen to the
diabetes,
soundtrack because I wasn't really paying attention to the music, and it's going to be a lot better than Armageddon. So that's
I have to say that if you're gonna fight diabetes, I know what you need. If
Do what?
you're gonna fight diabetes, I know what you need.
Mm-hmm.
so
You need
Oh my goodness.
that was friggin' awesome. That is the good side of AI.
It's great. I think it's good.
That popped up on my YouTube
I
feed
used to
last-
love him. I loved him in that movie. What was it, Cocoon or whatever?
Cocoon, The Thing.
Yeah,
This
but
Old
when he
House.
was when him and the
Our
other
House.
little old men were going and getting in
Candy
the
little
pool,
girl.
and he said a cat couldn't. He said it's like blue steel. A cat couldn't scratch it. I just thought that was a phenomenal line that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. To see your grandpa say something like that, you know what I mean?
and
I
Cocoon.
just loved it.
my score of this movie. I guess the
Mhm.
general consensus was that it was like a 6 and some change out of 10, slightly above popcorn fare.
Hmm.
I'd say it was a little bit better. This percentile based system of X out of 100.
No, you don't have to do
There's
that. You can
very
do it
few
any way you
movies
want.
that would rate that would be almost 100, definitely be in the 90s. This was like a 70 and above, just below. There was some things that they could have gotten me. Not to say that this movie was bad, but to kick it over a notch, like, and then you put the
Cherry on top.
cherry on top of the sundae or whatever, your ice cream
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
etc. It would just kick it up that much more. 75 to 77, almost 80. Because this was a decent movie. Your usual disaster fare. It wasn't your crappy CGI. It wasn't the schlock from the 70s that I love immensely, but God, they're horrible. Except for Swarm. Michael Caine kicked ass. Now always that one. High regards, regardless.
Michael Caine did
It's
his
just-
absolute best to buy the nicest house he could, up to and including the movie Jaws 4.
Oh God, I would have left that off the list.
I mean, pancakes are great, but what you do, sir, Warrior, I like to get the chocolate frosted Pop-Tart, the basic chocolate frosted Pop-Tart from 1984. Get a newer package, and then you warm it up. You can put it in the microwave for 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. That's it. Or you put it in a toaster. And then you take your chocolate Pop-Tart, you put it in a bowl. And now you put ice cream on top of the chocolate Pop-Tart. Doesn't matter what flavor, your favorite ice cream on top of the chocolate Pop-Tart. And then top it with Magic Shell. Let me know when Wilford Brimley comes down your chimney and tells you that with all the gifts you got diabetes.
Not tried that, but I've always been a fan of strawberry and blueberry pop.
I like blueberry.
Now I'm gonna have to try and do that. That sounds really good.
Yeah, the Pop Tarts are outlawed all over the world except here in America because we like our food with plastic. But you know who's there to save the day? RFK.
And then chocolate shell. I haven't had that since freaking like 88.
Magic Shell's amazing. Don't you dare slander Magic Shell.
Not gonna do that. Put it on the ice cream and then it instantly solidifies. That's amazing technology. Like what we can do.
It's just I just don't
With
really
polymer.
like ice. I don't like chocolate that much.
And what?
I don't like chocolate that much. You know, when you can go to like the yogurt ice cream place and they put it in soft serve, like in a thing, and they do the twirly thing on it, and then they turn it upside down and dip it in light chocolate. And it's got like a little really thin chocolate coating on it. Now I like that because it's very, very little and subtle. And then you have the yogurt ice cream with it. That's good.
Whether or not you were an alien impersonating Janet, because I've never met any woman that dislikes chocolate.
Well, I didn't I just don't like very much of it. It leaves a funny aftertaste in my mouth. I don't know if it's what it is. My favorite cake is angel food cake with nothing on it.
Want to do.
Sorry, I had a dry spot in my throat.
So yeah, this disaster film was awesome. Most of it was believable to the point of, you're not going to be taken out of your place. You're going to watch it and you're going to root for the good guys and wish the bad guys were dead and get the human being and it's like peanut butter and jelly. It's a good match and it's not over and you're going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you got a peanut allergy, then select something.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry. I was reacting to Warrior's post. No, I didn't say I didn't hate chocolate. I just don't really care for it. I can eat other stuff. I would rather have a Payday candy bar than a chocolate bar.
She likes her chocolate in moderation.
Yeah. But Bruce, what do you think? What's your score? What kind of score would you give this movie?
I'm going to give this movie an 85 because there's a few things about it that are just small, almost negligent items. But like I said, the lack of the reflective or high visibility vests at night with the military, they would have gotten semi-truckloads of orange vests or yellow vests out in front of every fucking guy with a military ID, every girl with a military ID. The lady military officers, the lady nurses were far hotter than any lady nurse I've ever seen in the military. I've never seen a woman like the woman that took care of the diabetic boy in the tent at the FEMA camp.
Yeah,
I've never seen a military member that gave me so much mahogany. That was special effects.
Well, can I add something really quick right there? That popped in my head because you said that. You know how it wasn't woke at all.
No,
that was one thing. And they had a woman in charge basically when they took her. Remember, they took her and her son to the person running the whole thing, basically in the office, and she wasn't even chosen to go to the underground bunker. And it was a woman, a black woman, but she could act. She was believable, and it didn't take away from the movie to have a black woman in charge running everything from the movie. So see, they can put anyone depending on who it is, a black woman, a white woman, a Hispanic woman, a man, or whoever, in a position in this movie or any movie, and be a believable character without having to push the woke in your face. That I just wanted to add that because you said that about the good-looking woman that was in the tent. So
I mean,
they did a
it
great
reminded
job.
me, like she was almost
Before it's
distractingly
agenda that
hot.
ruins everything.
She was almost distractingly hot. I'll say that. Like a military girl military women, nurses in military, they are pretty much they might have loosened up, but they used to not wear makeup or blush or nothing. They were
Yeah.
just plain Janes. For 8 hours, you're your property of Uncle Sam, and you're just completely just. It doesn't matter how hot you are. Right now, you're in uniform. Stay in uniform. Don't be hot. And that she was too hot to be just a nurse. Like somebody wasn't going to rush along and kidnap her and take her to their bunker. And for 9 months they have snoo, and when they come out like ready to bear the child, I'm going
Yeah,
to
there's
start
a million
looking-
other people down there because you saw the bunks that they had.
she was almost distractingly hot. I'll say that. Like a military girl military women, nurses in military, they are pretty much they might have loosened up, but they used to not wear makeup or blush or nothing. They were just plain Janes. For 8 hours, you're property of Uncle Sam, and you're just completely it doesn't matter how hot you are. Right now, you're in uniform. Stay in uniform. Don't be hot. And that she was too hot to be just a nurse. Like somebody wasn't going to rush along and kidnap her and take her to their bunker. And for 9 months, they have snoo. And when they come out, like ready to bear the child, I'm going to start
a million other people down there. Because you saw the bunks that they had. This is huge rooms. It was barracks, like basically.
Yeah.
With all the kids, the moms, dads, the grandparents, everybody, all hanging out together. So no privacy, I don't think you had in the bunkers.
Hello. I got some. There's like a disconnect between YouTube and Restream today. So I want to say hello to La Maquina de Santos Canam. Hello from Puerto Rico. Hello from Texas. Nerdy Ogre is in the chat as well. And Jackie Blue comes in. Hey, Jackie Blue.
Oh, see, I don't have YouTube, so I don't know who's over there. I have to go open it. I got my X open.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm not seeing that on here. Anyway, I want to give this movie an 85 because there's some things that do knock it down a little bit. It was too short. The movie should have been a little longer. I know that sounds like I'm complaining, I'm bitching, whatever. I think this movie would have benefited from about 10 more minutes because it doesn't really do enough for the world building post impact. You see them. There's the heartfelt speech that makes every man cry because that's what you are supposed to tell your son when your son is scared.
Yeah.
And when your kid's scared, you're supposed to take away the demons and you're supposed to be like, it doesn't matter, daddy's here. That's what you do. That's what any man with a dick and testicles from birth is going to tell his kid born with dick and testicles and they're a child. They're scared. It's okay to be a scared little boy. We've never had a fucking asteroid or comet drill before in the house. We've practiced for tornadoes. We've ran in the basement. We've hid under mattresses. We've done all sorts. Stop, drop, and roll.
Cover.
We've never done this. It's okay to be scared, my son. It's okay. And when he read that to his boy, when he said that to his son, and he held his wife and tried to be over them, kind of shelter them. If the ceiling collapses, he dies first. Men sacrifice. Women and children are supposed to get saved. This movie has so much paternal energy in it, so much good. This is like a movie you watch the day after Father's Day. The day after, like, you see all these gifts come, like your kid gives you a brand new DeWalt drill, or your wife gives you a brand new flannel shirt from your favorite Duluth market, or something of that nature. You just got your brand new ball sack underwear.
After you mail up.
Yeah, you get your ball sack underwear that separates your ball sack from your thigh, so you don't have to walk and stick at the same time. That's all fun, right? Women don't even experience that unless they're excessively endowed with the lips. But men, we get this every day. This movie is like every fucking second Gerard Butler's there. He is there taking it punched in the face or getting burned by fucking asteroids or being challenged for the fucking bracelet he's got to wear.
Yeah.
Like this is like the most manly man movie without saying like I kill terrorists or I smash bad guys in the face. No, this guy's just being a dad. He's not being paid for this. He's being thrust with responsibility. This is a station you've got. You were a dickhead 2 months ago. You slept around with my daughter, but you don't get that chance to do that. And if you fucking want to be anything in the afterlife, you're never going to fucking hurt my daughter again. You're going to be there for her every step of the way. And this movie, Gerard Butler He gets beat up in a truck. He has to kill a guy with a hammer. I mean, it's the most manly movie I've watched in a long time. And I'm not talking about like John Wayne manly, like we're going to
You're
go.
not talking about John Wick movies.
It's not John Wick.
Yeah.
It's not John Wayne. It's Gerard Butler just trying to be a good dad and
husband.
And husband. But like he's there for his wife, yes. His son is the driving force of this movie. I'm gonna be considered such a dick for this. His weak ass son is the impetus for this movie because the son screwed up and decided I wanted to have my blanket instead of my diabetic medicines and pump refill or whatever it was. So he had to run back, and that caused the entire separation for the first act and a half.
Yep.
And the rest of the movie he's trying to fix the mistakes the son has, and he's gonna get the kid on the right track. That's my hope for the sequel. The son is 10 years old and he's got his head on straight and he's ready to roll and face forward and just take on life with his dad and Marina Baccarin, who typically I would be simping for Marina Baccarin just as much as Warrior simps for Janet. She admits that she was part of the problem when they had their separation, and he went and dicked into some new plug-in toy, new doll that he had, new potential tryout wife. And this entire film is nothing more than just like a movie that you should watch if you want to see a film that shows you your responsibilities should we have the worst possible event happen. Greenland is it. It's the most manly movie I've seen in years. And I'm not even trying to be sarcastic or toxic about it. It's just a fucking, like, you're a dude. Oh, guess what? You got to verify every day why you have your bracelet. You got to verify every day why you get paid, why you have this nice house. Why do you deserve this vehicle? How dare you have such a hot wife and adorable son? You see a smile on that kid, he could light up a room, and they fucking try to steal his kid. They try to do everything to this guy in 2 hours. And just the last 10 minutes of this movie, I would like to see them going out in the world, kind of like putting their feet on the blasted ash of the earth, and a few more animal sightings, and then Gerard Butler say something like, "I've got to make a bow and arrow," and that could be it, or maybe one of the guys from the vault would be like, "Here's your AR-15, sir." This movie, if you're a guy, you haven't seen it yet, watch it. Let me know if you agree with me. I'm just a dude playing a dude, simping like a dude should. This is one of the better movies of post-pandemic America, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I sure as shit did. I wasn't expecting it.
I'm so thankful because I've been wanting you to watch this movie for so long, because like I told you, this type of movie that we just watched is my favorite kind of movie. A movie where everybody is basically who they are. You know what I mean? They react to what happens in their lives on a daily basis and step up to the plate when it's their turn, basically. I like that. And even if they don't step up to the plate, but they end up stepping up to the plate later, you know what I mean? They realize it. They realize the mistakes they've made, things like that. I like movies like that. I like movies that show the redeeming qualities of a person, even when you make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. And that's what I liked about the wife in this movie, is that she was willing to admit that she wasn't perfect. You see what I mean? Because she knows she isn't. And she saw that he stepped up to the plate, that he realized what he had done wrong, and that he was telling her, "I still love you, and I know what I did. I fucked up, but I want to make it up to you." And when she put her hand on his hand and said, "I'm where I want to be," I just love that. I just love the tiny human quality things that were added into this movie they didn't have to put in. That's what I'm trying to
No.
say. So many movies have so much potential to have that in it, and they don't think it's that important. But that's why I think this movie is a way above a lot of these other movies, because the writer and the director saw a vision and wanted you to see it, and I think they did a phenomenal job showing it to you, that because you are you and you stepped up to the plate and you followed through, what a better world we could have if everybody would do that. Just like when Tiana Leone at the end of that movie, and she stepped up to the plate and decided that the end is coming, and who do I want to be with when it happens? My daddy. And she did it, and he was with her and she was with him, and they were happy and they died together. It was a horrible, sad ending, but the fact that she came to the realization of what she wanted to and how she wanted to end her life, and a lot of people don't have that decision.
Can we talk about one more character in this movie?
Yeah.
Dove into the wave. If they dove in, and then there would be a Deep Impact 2 where they're living with Kevin Costner in
Waterworld.
post-flood.
Oh, well, I don't know. But go ahead. What character you want to talk about, Bruce?
I love Scott Glenn's character in this movie. Scott Glenn is the father from Marina Baccarin, and he plays such a he's the reset for Gerard Butler. Like, Gerard Butler's on the path already to be a Father of the Year, but Scott Glenn, like, when he arrives alone, he's like, here I am, I got my friends to babysit me while I'm worried about my daughter and grandson, and where the fuck what are you fucking doing? I love that.
Me too.
I love how he just fucking immediately chews his ass. And then Gerard Butler's like, hold on, we're trying to work things out. And more importantly, we got separated at the airport. She told me to meet her up here. I thought she was up here with you. Have you tried the landlines yet? And immediately, like, he throws it at the father-in-law. Have you tried the landlines yet? Yeah, they're working, and sometimes you get a stupid government message. But then 4 minutes later, you see that the phone rings. And in that time period, it goes into this guy's life where he's widowed, and him and his buddies who are 60 and 70, years old, they're there playing cards at the kitchen table, draining the last of the beers out of the refrigerator. Fuck it. Tomorrow we all die. Might as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they offer him, like, listen, you can come with us. We'll get you at the base. We'll take care of you. He's like, listen, my wife died here, and I can't differentiate between her smell and the smell that the horses had. I don't want to leave this. It's my time to go. Tomorrow, next week, 10 years, I'm gonna go. And I love that. I love that. I think that is so important for the character, that he's like, your world is going to be different than mine. My world is all about this property. I've been here long enough, and I've missed my wife so much that when it's my time to go, I'm going to be with her. I'm not going to run away from it and live longer. But you've got my daughter as your wife and my grandson as your son. You lucky son of a bitch. You got to fix and atone for what the things you fucked up in the last couple months. I love that.
Me too.
Like I said, this movie is such a manly film.
Even the pilot, okay, the actor that played the pilot that flew them into Greenland died a hero, basically.
Yeah.
It showed so many different types of men. They butt heads, they fight because they all want the same thing, but they all want to do it in a different way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Gerard stood up to him and said, hey, I'm not going to let any of you leave. I'm going to not get out of the way. I'm not letting you leave. So you're going to have to put us on the plane. So he ends up putting them on the plane anyway. And both the pilots work really hard to get that plane up the ground and get him there. And they get there right in time as the meteor is starting to hit the planet. So they've got wheels on the ground. 10 minutes they're outside Yep.
And getting everybody mustered outside.
Mhm.
And the pilots are like, go. Their legs are crushed or pinned between the equipment and the seats.
Yep.
Go.
Yeah. Well, one of them was already dead. The other guy was just about to die. But the fact they both died heroes and got all those people, we don't even know how many there were, but there was a lot of young kids on there that they saved and gave a future to, simply because they risked their life to fly to Greenland from Canada. I just loved it. To me, there were so many good character arcs for so many people, and there were a lot of assholes in this movie too. Remember, every single person that busted that fence gate down to rush in there basically ruined all those planes of people from being able to leave.
How many planes exploded?
I mean, I don't know. It's more than one.
I thought there was 3.
There might have been, but there was like 6 or 7 planes with buttloads of people ready to fly out. Okay. And because of the selfishness of all those others, which was sad, I mean, they were all desperate. It ended up taking out all those planes. So
I can't really say I blame those people for.
No, I don't. That's what I said. They were desperate.
Because I mean, I watched in August of 2021 a bunch of people clinging to the underbellies of planes and the landing gear trying to get out of Afghanistan. And I mean, I think everybody saw that on the news, and that's one of the few times I've ever watched the news and cried.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever done that before. That was a first.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of 9/11 with those people that were falling.
Oh, yeah, I was bawling my eyes out.
That level of.
But you know what? The part when that happened on 9/11, I remember watching it on the news, and I didn't understand for sure. I saw the devastation. I was trying to absorb it, I guess. And my mom just said, "Did you hear that?" And you could see the people looking around when they're hearing the noises, and then another one like that. And that mom goes, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah. What is it?" And she said, "Those are people jumping out of the windows, committing suicide, hitting the top of the building." And I just burst into tears when the reality of what was happening, the actual reality of knowing how far that person was falling before they actually hit. They were probably already dead. Mom said she probably thought that they had heart attacks before they even hit the ground. And I was like devastated by that. The terror alone of dying in a fire, knowing they're going to burn to death. The people that died in the stairways, smoke inhalation, stuff like that. And then the ones who died instantly were the lucky ones. And that's what my mom was telling me. The ones who died instantly when the planes hit the building were the lucky ones. But the ones who jumped because they felt like they'd rather have a few seconds to live and hit the ground than burn to death. It was devastating just to watch that, and it's still, and to how quickly it seemed like people just went, "Oh well," and just forgot about it, act like it was, nothing. It's sad. And then to say stuff about January 6th was like the worst event ever that happened in the United States of America. It's stuff like that to me is sad. They say stuff like that because what happened to our country on 9/11, to me, in my lifetime, is the most devastating thing that's ever happened to our country. And how many people it affected, and to see it happening live on TV and stuff. And a lot of people say, well, we couldn't have all this stuff come out. All of it, the shadow government has to release all this stuff little by little because it's so much that there would be utter chaos. And I'm like, watching all these people dying on national TV is not enough to have people to, like what happened on Wall Street when people were jumping out of buildings and committing suicide because they just lost everything, Yeah. Or what was it? The War of the Worlds on the radio, and people were killing themselves thinking that we were being invaded, So the fact that we have a shadow government doing stuff and that they're keeping all these people and they got clones, that Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton and Biden and all of them aren't even real. They're just clones, or they're people in masks because it would be too much for the people to understand because they're all in Gitmo. Just all these stories are just tons and tons of these stories, and the conspiracy theories are the reason why most people aren't believed, you know. But what's so scary right now in reality is all the stuff that's opening up, and we're finding out, wow, that's real. That really happened. This happened. This happened. It's time for us to live in a world where we can find out the truth, you know, instead of having to wait 100 years for in the future for our great grandkids to find out the truth, and we die thinking it's true, and then being told we're dumbasses because we believe it's in dumb stuff like that, you know. So I don't know. I hope that one day we do live in a world where we get to see transparency in our government and the way we live our lives, and be able to find out the truth that's going on around us. That would be a wonderful place to live, I think.
Well, Six Nations, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up today?
Well, I was where the private companies were survival shelters and bunkers and whatnot. I was thinking, like, situation, you know, our government doesn't really make bunkers for the general public, so it would be entrepreneurs doing. So yeah, that was my last thought on that. Was bunkers would be, and hopefully more accessible to the general public.
So you mean like
that, like
Fallout?
Not like Fallout.
Yeah, but still, that's what when you were first talking about it.
Would be a little funky. But like the idea that our governments have their shit together and they would do that for humanity. No, they would really protect their own butts.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're cowards.
Like, ended on a low note with the stark reality of the bullshittery in the world. So what was portrayed in the movie, and we got some hope and a sequel coming up, apparently. Cool. It was good. It was a nice change of pace from the revisionist history of movies. We got the strong nuclear family, crotchety old father-in-law / dad who's keeping it real, and then dad doesn't play the dopey father that can't get anything right, and then the kids like the smart ass Mary Sue or like it was positive in all the drama and the negativity that was going on, and like got their shit in order. Get their shit in order a little bit more. Like with that medication thing, we bypassed, and we could have had a different situation.
Oh, they had to have some reason to get separated.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, completely cliche in Hollywood. Find a different MacGuffin. The diabetes thing, autoimmune or whatever. Slightly different, but it wasn't as cliche as it could have been. It wasn't hokey. It was action packed, drama packed. Done. It didn't leave that weird, funky 2020 taste in my mouth. Like the 20 funky, as far as media is concerned, it's a lot of stuff. And then every once in a while, you get a tasty morsel, and you're like, ah, there we go, entertainment.
Remember what entertainment
good.
used to feel like? Remember that? Remember good movies?
Yeah, and this came out in what 2020, and it
Yeah,
wasn't
2020.
woke. And this is to answer what it said. What are the chances that Janet's actually being from another planet? There you go.
I want to
Janet's
say
making
that
sure
Cotton
that-
Ministries had a really big quote. He's like, nobody jumped out of windows during the stock market crash. When you lose everybody's money, you get tossed out of windows.
Oh, well, somebody threw somebody out the window.
Don't lose everyone's money.
Yeah. But what I mean is that it
if you were from another planet, would you be from flat Venus or flat Mars?
flat Venus or flat Mars. I never even knew
Yeah,
that it was flat.
Because flat Earth. All the
Well,
other
it would be
planets.
for me to one of them because I'm definitely not flat. So I'll just say that.
That's why we haven't made it to Mars.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Next week's movie is going to be what movie? Let me look at Jan's list here. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know. You didn't tell me yet.
No, I haven't.
I'm curious.
But I picked this one, so you can do a different movie, one of your choices this time. But I'm glad I picked that movie because I knew you would like it if we could just get you to watch it.
Well, there's a movie that I want to watch because it's a Christmas movie, and that's Go.
Go.
It's from 1999.
Wow, I haven't seen that since I was in the theater.
It's called Go.
And I like that movie.
Geo. We're gonna watch Go next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna find that, watch it, review it. The alternate, if streaming turns to be a piece of shit to us, we'll watch the other Christmas movie, Gremlins.
Oh yeah,
I really want to watch Go because it's a lesser known film and it's a time.
Well, I've
capsule.
never heard of it, so it'll be a new one for me, which is great because you got to watch a new one, which was this movie.
I've never seen Go either, so.
No, you haven't? Oh,
No, I
okay,
haven't.
well, good. I like that.
I'll review that again because it's been since what, like 99 when it came out or something?
99.
So
it's
it's been a while.
25-year drug-soaked movie. It's like supremely.
And it's a Christmas movie.
It's Christmas.
Okay.
It was either that or Santa's sleigh, and I'm like, no Santa's sleigh.
Well, we could have watched that movie with Mel Gibson about the kid who hires a hitman to kill him.
Oh.
To kill Santa because he gave him a piece of coal.
Yeah.
And he hires Walton Goggins to go and kill him. I love Walton Goggins, as you know. I really like him. Very good actor. I loved him in Fallout series as the ghoul.
Okay.
I had James Oliphant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Oliphant's in it. Yes. Justified. Die Hard 4.
Yeah, Justified.
Yeah.
I love Justified. That was a great series too.
That was like one of his earlier roles.
Oh, I wanted to ask you too. Have you seen the series Dexter?
No.
That if we're going to do a series and we're going to do one episode a week, that would be a series that I would like to do because it's for grown-ups. It's very, very mature content, but it's good. It's very well made. And the books are freaking good too.
Fair enough.
And I love C. Thomas Howell, and I love Thomas C. Howell, both of them. But they're not both in them. It's just one of them.
Now, Go has Katie Holmes, William Fichtner, Sarah Polley, Jay Moore, Scott Wolf with Taye Diggs, Breckin Meyer, Timothy Oliphant, Desmond Askew, Jane Krakowski, J.E. Freeman, and Melissa McCarthy in her film debut.
I'm great with faith.
Yeah, you're going to see this movie and be like, they're in this movie. This is like a quarter of the talent from True Romance.
Oh, so it's one of those movies where they just get all their buddies to be in a movie really cheap.
No,
Oh, you know
This
what
is
I'm
not-
talking about?
this is a crime comedy movie
Not a Kevin Smith.
set around Christmas. That's a Kevin Smith movie, Janet. This is not. This is directed by Doug Lyman, and Doug Lyman did Swingers, Go, The Bourne Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jumper, Edge of Tomorrow, American Made, and Roadhouse for 2024, which I refuse to watch 2024 Roadhouse, but he did Edge of Tomorrow, which is a fucking amazing sci-fi movie.
Well, I just wanted to tell Warrior I named my dog Dexter. When I got him as a puppy, because I loved Dexter. But I was already reading the books. So when I found out they were making a series with it, and the actor that starred in Dexter, I loved him in this another series that I loved. It was called 6 Feet Under. And I loved that series too, about the whole thing was about a morgue, about a funeral parlor, basically, family that ran a funeral parlor, and it was great. I loved that. It was really good. So yeah. Remember I told you that on one of those shows that for career day, when I was in like was it 12, I think, 11 or 12, I picked to go to the morgue with my best friend. We were the only ones that wanted to say we wanted to be morticians, and we got to go to the morgue for career day. So it was pretty cool. But I didn't end up being a mortician.
Pretty trippy.
Do what?
Oh, morticians, what they
Creepy.
have to do to a human body. Just
Yeah.
it's crazy.
But I had an aunt at the time that one of my dad's brothers was married to a woman, and what she did for a living was she did the makeup and hair for dead people to get them ready for their funerals. So I thought it was really cool that she did that, and I got to go with her a couple times and watch her do it. And it wasn't anybody gruesome or anything like that. They were just someone had passed on, and she said that she didn't even think about them being dead. She just wanted them to look their best for their loved ones, and that's how she was able to do it. And she made really good money doing it. But it's a lot of people don't realize that there's so many jobs out there that a lot of people don't even think about. That people do this, they do that for a living. So,
well,
interesting.
We'll be back next week, and I'm not just for operational security. If Janet doesn't have a knife collection and something should happen and somebody ends up stabbed with like 40 different types of knives of various qualities, I don't want to be responsible for it. So I would just say that she probably has a couple. Anyway, my name is Bruce. Thank you for being here with me today.
It has a lot of friends.
I already showed you guys that I had a sword, right, hanging on the wall. And see, I have like this one was a gift.
Jan's giving away the trade secret here.
And then I've got this one.
Blanket the community with like, she could have knives. Janet's like, no, let me show you.
See, I have lots of them, different styles, depending on what you're going to use them for, what animal you might be hunting, or where you're going.
If she
So yeah,
pulls out a little black Bible and opens it up, and it's got from prison.
no, I don't really feel like that. But
But
yeah, I just grabbed them because they're
Jenna
on
has
one
a lot
of
of
my
friends.
desks.
Jenna
Do you
has
remember
lot
I got a
of
whole
friends.
series of The Walking Dead on hardback? I got one, year, of comic books in one hardback book, and then I had my posters, my lithographs up there, and then I have like an old belt with shotgun shells on it, and I got some MREs and some other stuff over there for survival stuff, all decorate, set together because they go together because it's from The Walking Dead. So, oh, sorry.
And in the spirit of operational security, those close
Stuff
friends
like this, in my office,
2, 3 o'clock
Trumpinator,
level to be done.
my collectibles.
So we will be here next week please swing by next
How's that
week.
acreage?
We will be discussing the film Go, which
Mhm.
just got I just got reminded of it, and it looks like a fun, fantastic movie. I recommend if you are familiar with it, swing by, and we'll be here to discuss it. It looks like one of those films that we're going to have a lot of fun with. Anyway, my name is Bruce. This is
I hope
Janet.
the revisiting of it is going to be good because I enjoyed it back in the day.
Mhm.
It was a nice romp.
I want to see how it holds up after 25 years.
Yeah.
Well, how can you see how it holds up if you haven't seen it before?
Because there's movies that I watched when I was 19 called The Cowboy Way. And when I watched it at 19, it was completely different than when I watched it at age 48.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched it at 19, it was enjoyable. It was fun. Ernie Hudson, great cop in that movie.
Mhm.
Woody Harrelson, Kiefer Sutherland. There was lots of sexcapades, lots of hotness, lots of women in this film that kept on getting the boys' eye, you know. And Kiefer Sutherland kept on trying to keep his little brother on the straight and narrow. Come on, we got to take care of our buddy. We got to get his daughter rescued, blah, blah, blah. And then when I watched it again at age 48, every fucking scene in that movie, I'm ripping apart in my head. And then it came to a culmination whenever Ernie Hudson watches a dude smash his truck through a New York club, and then he doesn't arrest him. He's just like, oh, well, another night in New York City, huh? Big Apple, huh?
Yeah, I remember I was very disappointed, especially with the criminal guy. The way that whole situation was unfolded was ridiculous. And I was like, I can't believe I actually thought this was a good movie.
Yeah.
So I felt the same way. Yeah, you're right.
That entire film was just a disappointment from start to finish on the rewatch. So
See, and that's what's good about it is there are movies that were made in the past that will never be remade.
Yeah, it was either a sign of the times
Yeah,
or a sign of the culture or
definitely.
whatever. Was
They made
popular
that
at
movie
time.
simply because something big was going on with rodeos or something. Apparently, they were big back then or something,
something
and
like
that's
that.
why they made that movie or something because it was a hit
Yeah.
back then,
Like that thing
but it
with,
wouldn't be today.
I
the
thought
90s,
there was a casting
was-
agent, much like Janet, who thought Woody Harrelson looked good in Calvin Klein's.
He did back then. And the cowboy hat too. You got to remember he had the cowboy hat and boots.
He was charming in Natural Born Killers.
Oh.
There.
Really love that movie.
Well, honestly, I haven't seen a man at all, not one man alive on this planet walking around or pictures of men that I wouldn't think would be more attractive with blue jeans and cowboy hat on. Something about a man wearing cowboy hat and jeans is attractive. It makes you look rugged and virile or something. I don't know what it is.
There you go, guys. There's your skeleton key.
And see, your mustache and goatee right now, Bruce, is perfect to dress that way. I guarantee if you had a big belt buckle and stuff like that, you'd get lots of women. I mean, I don't think your wife would like that, but
I have a
think
big
it would help.
cowboy hat in my truck.
You do? Okay, see, it works. Girls
Mainly
like,
for the fact I
even
hate-
women from other countries think cowboys are sexy.
That reminds me of back in my teenage year, well, late teenage years,
Yeah.
not early teenage years, 19, right out of high school. My buddy had a 69 Pontiac Tempest that he was refurbishing.
Mhm.
It was a rust bucket we were working on. Got that damn thing running. God, it sounded sweet. So we get all the gang together and we driving around and we get to the west side of town and the engine dies. And we have to push it uphill in order to get it downhill to pop the clutch to get the things, a solid steel car back when cars were made out of metal.
Yeah, real metal.
And a plastic styrofoam Prius shit. And so the three guys, me, my buddy Dylan, and my friend Andy were pushing the back end of this, and Andy's girlfriend and two of our other friends, the ladies are off to the side, and we're trying to about 20, 30 feet up this hill. And they're like, no, this looks like a damn Gene commercial. And they start whistling and catcalling us. And that just stuck in my head. Like your Gene comment brought that memory back. Funny moment in my childhood. That's all I got to say about that.
Gentlemen, appreciate you being here today. We look forward to seeing you again very soon. We'll see you again when we discuss the movie Go next week.